Denari provides two levels of user access control, and both are accessed through the user setup record. There you will find a role-based access control called access level and a field or page-based access called security level. Role-based simply means that each of your users are assigned to one of the predefined roles like system administrator, data entry user, etc. The field or page level access allows you to fine-tune those roles to control access down to the field level if needed. The role-based setup is covered in the user setup training video. We will cover the field level access feature in this session. But first, a quick note. The security level setting in the user setup record, the subject of this video, is not required. In most cases, access level or role-based user control is sufficient. However, for more detailed access controls needed by your organization, please continue with this session. Let's start by working backwards. Let's go to the Donors tab, Name List Management, and we'll just choose a name from that page. In the button bar at the top, you'll find a button called Customize. When we click that button, we see a page that lists every field on that page. And then we also see over here to the right two columns, the visible level and the edit level. As you scan down the page, you'll see that every field on the page has a visible level of 25 and an edit level of 50. That means that for one of your users to be able to see the field, they must have a security level setting of 25 or more, and we'll look at that where we set that in a minute. The 50 in the edit level column means that to be able to edit or change each field, your user must have a security level setting of 50 or more. So let's say that you have a user that you have put into the data entry access level group, but you don't want that user to be able to change anyone's last name. You want them to see it, but not change it. For that to happen, that user will need a security level setting of more than 25, but less than 50. They can see the last name field, but not change it. So let's look at where we'll set that up. We'll go to the Admin tab, and then User Setup. And we'll just select one of the records in the training company here at random. Here we see the security level setting is 0. That really means 100 to Denari. So 100 is higher than both the 25 and the 50. That means that on the name page, this user has full access to all the fields that is allowed by a data entry user. And I'll just change that to data entry so we're not confused. They can both see and edit those fields. So let's change the security setting for this user to 30. It's higher than 25, but lower than 50. So they'll be able to see the last name field, but not make a change. But wait, we have a problem. You may remember that every field on that page is a 25 and a 50. So this user will be able to see the fields, but not change any of them at this point, and that's not what we want. We want to only limit them to the last name field. So let's set the level at 50, and we'll see why in a moment. Remember to save the record. Let's go back to the Donors tab, Name List Management, and we'll find our donor again. And then finally click the Customize page. And now we can go down to the last name field and click the Edit button. That gives us access to the settings, and I'm going to change the settings in the Edit field to 55. That means that a user must have a number higher than 25 to see the field and also higher than 55 to be able to edit the field. Since our user has their level set at 50, they won't be able to edit the field, but they will still be able to edit all the others because they also have a 50. All of your other users will still be able to see and edit all the fields because their default settings are still set at 0 or 100. We'll click the Update link here to save our changes. Without going through all the variations of how you might use these settings in a video, you can see that there are a large number of them, which can make this a little complicated. Just remember that the user's number must be higher than the setting on the page for them to have access to either see or edit a field. Now, while we're here, you may have noticed that the field label is also editable or can be changed here. That allows you to change how it shows up on the page. If we decide, for example, that we don't want the label on the name page to say last name, we can change it to something else. It's important to remember, however, that changing it here only changes what you see on the name page. It doesn't change the underlying data. Denari still sees it as last name, and it will show up on reports as last name, but it could help your users remember what should go in that field. Now, let's go to the Donors tab again. And here we see a Customize button on the right. When we click that button, we get a list of every item on that page. This page, however, only has a visible level setting. So let's say that we don't want our user to have access to the name list management page at all. We can simply click the Edit button and change the setting here to something higher than the 55 we gave them. If we don't want our user to have access to anything on the Donors tab, we could change every setting on this page to something higher than 55, and the entire Donors tab will be blank for this person. Many of the pages in Denari have a Customize button that allow you to fine-tune access levels for your users. Combined with the role-based settings and the checkboxes found in the user setup record, you have a high level of control over what your users can do in Denari. For more information about user setup, please see the user setup video. If you have any questions, please contact our tech support office through the support button at the top of the Denari page.